All right. Hi, everybody. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining today's webinar on unlocking the potential of OpenAI. We are running today in partnership with Microsoft. My name is Sulabh Jain, and I'll be your host today. In my role here at Antares as the education lead, I work with education institutions on a daily basis to solve industry problems on the Microsoft platform. I'm also joined today by Travis Smith, Microsoft K-12 industry lead, who probably needs no introduction. Many of you may know Travis very well. Travis has been working with K-12 institutions at Microsoft for over a decade. Can I ask everybody to be on mute if that's all right? So like I said, I'm joined today by Travis Smith, Microsoft K-12 industry lead, who probably needs no introduction. Travis has been working with K-12 institutions at Microsoft for over a decade, and he will be sharing Microsoft's vision when it comes to AI. I'm also joined by my colleagues, Trudy Constable and Martin Marek, who will be helping me with the chat. Today, we have gathered here to explore the incredible power of OpenAI and how it is transforming businesses worldwide. Artificial intelligence has come a long way, and OpenAI is at the forefront of this revolution, driving automation and innovation like never before. In this fast-paced era of digital transformation, education institutions are constantly seeking new ways to stay competitive, enhance operational efficiency, and drive growth. OpenAI provides a powerful toolkit that empowers enterprises to harness the true potential of AI. From intelligent chatbots and virtual assistants to data analytics, design, and content creation, OpenAI offers a wealth of possibilities. We will discover how education institutions can leverage OpenAI to automate routine tasks, extract valuable insights from data, and develop personalized experiences for various different stakeholders. So before we get started, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of all the lands we are meeting on today and pay my respects to past, present, and emerging leaders and community members. So today we'll get started with the basics, and I'll give you an introduction to generative AI shortly. I'll then pass on to Travis from Microsoft to give us an overview of Microsoft's vision when it comes to AI. I'll then cover the practice of responsible AI and why it is critical for developing any AI-based applications. I'll then discuss some of the key capabilities of the technology today, and I'll walk you through about 9 simple and practical demos I've created to illustrate the power of Azure OpenAI. We'll then go into some of the key considerations when powering your applications with AI and how you can get started today before reserving some time at the end for Q&A. During the presentation, you will be all on mute. So if you have any questions at any point, please type them in the chat. We will be taking questions in the end before we close, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions in the call today. If we are not able to get to any questions today, we will be sure to connect with you individually by the end of the week to answer any questions. So to give you an introduction to Antares and the work we're doing in education, I thought it would be great for you to know a few important things about us. We have over 15 years experience working with the education sector and have implemented wide-ranging solutions on the Microsoft platform that span across students, teachers, administrative staff, parents, as well as alumni. We have a
Hang on, Sulabh, someone's
Sulabh, you've gone on mute.
Yeah. Just unmute yourself. Someone might have gone mute all.
Sorry about that. I don't know where. I'll start again. So just to give you an introduction to Antares Education, I thought it would be great for you to know a few important things. We have over 15 years experience working with the education sector and have implemented a wide range of solutions on the Microsoft platform that span across students, teachers, administrative staff, parents, and alumni. We have a culture of innovation and have a range of IP that we bring to the table when implementing solutions or looking to solve industry problems. We also work with the Microsoft education and engineering teams on a number of initiatives together. We have a strategic partnership with Centre of Change and Complexity and Learning with University of South Australia, which is one of the top EdTech research centres in the world and helps schools solve complex problems in the areas of learning analytics and learning science to support planning, teaching, and learning. And lastly, we are part of an alliance called the Cloud Collective and provide end-to-end solutions on any of the 3 Microsoft clouds, whether it be Dynamics, Azure, or Microsoft 365. So we've been working with schools for a long time, like I said before, and have implemented a range of solutions and IP that might be useful for you. This includes implementing staff and student portals, to implementing document management systems, building data warehouses, implementing Power BI reporting solutions, to implementing Teams governance and best practices with tools like TELUS, and of course, things like implementing the Qbot platform built on Azure AI and our AI Center of Excellence program that I'll briefly talk about today. All right, so before we get into the topic today, I'd like to do a quick poll to help everybody and myself get a good idea about where everyone is in their AI journey. You should have a poll come up on your screen shortly with 3 quick questions. And if you could take 30 seconds to participate, that would be great. The questions are, do you believe generative AI will have a significant impact for K-12 sector in the next few years? Yes, it will revolutionize education, possibly, but more research is needed. No, its impact will be limited, or you're not sure. The second question is around how familiar are you with generative AI? For example, OpenAI's application in education. A, you're very familiar and you've used OpenAI in the classroom. You're somewhat familiar and know about OpenAI but haven't used it yet, or you're not familiar at all and it's the first time you're hearing about it. The final question is around what do you perceive as the main benefits of incorporating AI in K-12 education? Or who do you think, would be the main beneficiaries of that? Would it be students, parents, teachers, support staff, or all of the above? Once you've completed the poll, you will be able to see everyone's aggregated results, and we will also provide these results to you later in our email. The poll will remain open for the next 10 minutes, so you have plenty of time to complete it. And as we are moving along with the presentation today, you can always come back to the polls if need be as well. All right, with that, let me now hand over to Travis to give us an overview of Microsoft's vision on AI. And I'll hand it over to you, Travis, now.
Thanks, mate. I got
Travis,
muted.
you sorry.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Just jump to the next slide. Thanks, Salab. You are my slide master. Yeah, my role is K-12 industry lead. So obviously having a lot of conversations around AI and its impact in education at the moment with departments of education, Catholic dioceses and schools. I think it's, that survey results are really interesting. What's coming through. What we're seeing from, across the whole world, regardless of industry, is that all industries are going to be impacted by this. We're seeing it happen right now. I'll give you some examples of that. And there's going to be changes in economic growth and opportunities that are coming for all sectors. And we're already seeing some amazing implementations of this technology outside of education that we can certainly learn from, and also inside of education, which I'll talk about as we go through. And then Salab's going to obviously take you through some examples of what that looks like for real. And so this is a big inflection point for us. Just switch slides, mate. And we know that the technology is going to be front and center moving forward, this AI technology and the way you use it, It's going to be sort of put in to lots of different products that you'll use, and the impact of it is going to be significant. And these are just some news snippets from just the Microsoft stuff, but there's obviously a lot of work going on by OpenAI and other vendors like Google and others. This is being seen globally in the industry as probably one of the biggest transformations since mobile and the cloud. So it has a chance to certainly revolutionize things. Next slide. And the impacts of this are being seen. These aren't edu examples, but just that first one there, CarMax is like an online car shopping sort of place. They estimate that an individual will take 11 years to do what they were able to do in days using these OpenAI and Azure services. The second one is actually about money, and the third one is another time-saving one. The idea here is that in education, it's often more about time and efficiencies, and streamlining processes is the way that we're likely to see the impact of this, because time is money in education. We know that we've got a teacher crisis at the moment. We know that there's lots of people leaving the industry, and we need to make sure that there's teachers in front of our kids out there in schools. So I think that there's huge opportunity for this to support us. Next slide, please, Salab. And so what do Microsoft do? Well, basically, if you think about OpenAI, the ChatGPT stuff, which you've all played with, no doubt, that all sits in the Microsoft Cloud. The Microsoft Cloud and Azure is our platform for lots of different things, but it's kind of like the cloud for AI at the moment. We're opening a data center every 3 days globally. And the reason we're opening a data center every 3 days, which is just a ridiculous thing to think about, is because of the scale at which this is growing globally and the impact of which this is going to have in every industry, in health, in public sector, in government, in edu, in commercial, etc. So there's lots of different things to think about with this. And one of the reasons that our cloud is important for it, not because it just runs those models globally, but also because, as Salab's going to describe, you can bring the language models into your own Azure environment, which gives you the security and the privacy and the protection that you can wrap around it to be your version of that large language model, which means that your data does not escape your environment and go and train the global models that are out there in the wild. It is your version of it. And so Salab will talk about that OpenAI and Azure service, which is basically about putting it into your own data center, into your own Azure instance. And the reason that we did that is because Microsoft's very serious about security and safety and the fact that your data is your data. And if we were really going to deliver on that promise, then we have to have customers be able to grab that language model off the internet, put it into the safety and security of your own environment with your own compliance around it, and point your own data at it safely without it being out there on the internet. On the left-hand side of this slide, though, there's going to be some other things that happen. So, for example, Microsoft are building co-pilots, as we call them, into our technology stack. And there's one going to be available for Office, not been announced for Edu yet, but being trialed in 600 customers, where you might have seen some co-pilot Office 365 videos online about the way that will work, but it's going to be in Dynamics 365. There's going to be security co-pilots. There's lots of different versions of this. The middle of this slide is about you building your own AI-powered apps to deliver transformation. And you're going to see Salab demonstrate some of the capability that they have in starting to get you thinking about some of these possibilities. And the third one is, what are you going to do with it? Like, how are you going to grow your impact in education? And how much you use sort of Microsoft's Copilot ecosystem to sort of help you build your own Copilots, because it's not always about Microsoft doing it. Sometimes it's about you working with a partner like Antares to build something that is bespoke for your environment. Next slide, mate. And so I mentioned the Copilots that we've sort of got coming. There's things changing. We know that Windows Copilot has been announced and released in the last month for preview. The security Copilot's interesting because in our Sentinel stack, for those IT people on the call, you know what I'm talking about. But in all that security stuff, you can have a malicious code reverse engineered by artificial intelligence to tell you in plain English what the code is actually doing. And so artificial intelligence like this is going to play a significant role in lots of the end-to-end way we use our technology. So, for example, Copilot in the Power Platform, or let's say Power BI, for example, we might be getting to a time where end users of the data can describe to Power BI in natural language exactly what they want to see a report on, and it's created in front of them on the fly, rather than have to be pre-baked or pre-created by data people to give to teachers or to give to principals or to roll out to schools. And sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect in terms of what they want and what they receive. And so there's huge possibility for all this. Just jump to the next one, mate. In terms of the use cases, I mean, we could unpack this for an hour and a half. There are globally many different things, different use cases. I mean, the content creation stuff, if you think about that, is kind of the basics. But if I think about that as a former educator and school leader, I'm thinking about, well, what about if, e-textbooks had this built in so that every kid could pre-select their reading level when they view their textbook and see a different version of the same text based on their reading level? I mean, there's profound opportunity for this to level the playing field for kids globally. What if every kid knew that they could grab any text from any handout I give in my class or any text I give them in class and have that translated down to a Lexile 150 or a Lexile 200 reading level because they're reading 2 years less than what their mates are in their Year 8 class? There's real possibility for personalization. But when we think about one of the biggest challenges in teaching at the moment, it's actually about the processes and the things that we could automate in schools and in systems to make it more seamless for our teachers to do their work and for school leaders to do their work. And so there's huge possibilities in that. And we need to think about this this AI technology as not just about outputting text or outputting images or whatever, but fundamentally changing the way that humans interact with computers. Because now the computer understands what you want, so you can just tell it what you want it to do, and it can do some of the grunt work. I was listening to Dylan William, Professor Dylan William, which some of you will know, yesterday, and he was saying, it's interesting how the coding world has changed. The new coding language is likely to be English, because with GitHub Copilot and other things, there's ways that we can interact with technology that we never did before. Next slide, mate. I'll jump off these, otherwise I'll be here for another hour. In K-12, what's happening? Well, you probably saw in the news that the Department for Education in South Australia have released a version of OpenAI and Azure, protected in their environment, and released it to some of their schools to start piloting what sort of things the teacher's going to do, what sort of things might kids want to do, how can we start to think about the use cases within the education context. They're not doing that out in the wild because they don't want any of that data sort of flowing up to the global models. They want to protect it, and in order to protect it, they're doing that in their Azure service. Same thing in New York. The City of New York Schools is actually the largest education jurisdiction in the world, and New South Wales is close behind. And so they're doing something very, very similar to what we've seen with the Department for Education in South Australia. The UAE, the Ministry of Education, is creating virtual learning assistants for students, where they can start doing some of that stuff that I talked about before, where kids can start to ideate things, get ideas for things, change the language, how complex the language is, do all those sorts of things. Taiwan have created some apps with university researchers which are using some of this technology to encourage their kids to converse in English, because whilst you learn English from a textbook or from tapes like we probably did, and you learn sentences like Mary drinks milk with a straw, what they don't get practice at is actually doing the speaking. And so that these AI systems are being designed to be able to do some of this. Next slide, mate. We also know that data is the fuel that powers AI. And so your data estate and working on that and all the work you've been doing for the last few years doesn't stop. Because if you want to leverage this data up into AI systems, then it needs to be cleansed and organized and the right kind of data. So let's jump to the next one. And at Microsoft, we're a platform company, right? So we are building a platform for others to innovate using this technology. And you'll notice that by looking at the second sort of layer down, where there's Microsoft Copilots, and then there's your Copilots. And when you think about this term of Copilot, it's about keeping the human in the loop and making sure that it is an assistant for you to get stuff done. And whilst Microsoft are building our Copilots into our products that you might have a license for, you can also think about the way that you could build your own Copilots. And that is the work that a partner like Antara specialize in, to help you work out what are the use cases and how to use this platform. Because there's a whole lot of stuff we could do. This is an absolute eye chart of a slide. It doesn't do my brain any good. But there's so many examples of the ways that this technology could impact students, or whether it's the security stuff I spoke about, whether it's the communications with teachers or prospective parents coming to your school, or, there's just huge possibility. Next one, mate. And the question really is, what will you build? What will you do with it? Are you getting together as a crew, as a team at work, to start thinking about, which is not always IT people, by the way. You need to have some non-IT folks in there, about what are the use cases that we could solve for. And Saurabh's going to share with you some examples of the things that might be possible. But, are there ways that we could support teachers and learners to save more time, or to learn more? Or are there processes that could be automated by automatic workflows that are happening in the background of your systems? Or are we getting to a possibility where the artificial intelligence can crunch data on such a large scale that humans can't do, that a teacher in a secondary context who teaches 100 kids a day might actually have a chance of knowing exactly where their students are going and how to intervene more seriously for them? So there's huge possibilities in that, in this space. I'm pretty excited about the opportunity, and thank Antares for having me here. But I think we'll throw back to you, mate, so you can start talking about what generative AI is and how schools might be able to use it.
Thank you, Travis. Insightful as ever, and thank you so much for giving us that overview. All right, like Travis said, I'd like to begin with the basics, and I'd like to start with, what is generative AI? So generative AI refers to a category of artificial intelligence systems that possess the ability to create new and original content. So unlike traditional AI systems that analyze and make predictions based on existing data, generative AI models learn from patterns in data and use that knowledge to generate novel content in various forms, such as text, images, music, and even code. Over the years, generative AI has experienced significant advancements, largely driven by breakthroughs in deep learning algorithms and neural networks. These advancements have resulted in the development of highly sophisticated models capable of generating complex and realistic content. To power generative AI tools, large language models play a crucial role. These LLMs, as they're known, as they're called in short, are trained on vast amount of data gathered from diverse sources, including books, articles, images, videos, web pages, and code repositories. So for instance, GPT-3, the generative pre-trained language model behind ChatGPT, boasts around 175 billion parameters and has access to an extensive vocabulary of 300 billion words. Rumors suggest that GPT-4, the latest large language model from OpenAI, contains about 1.7 trillion parameters, emphasizing the growing scale and complexity of these generative AI models. So with that basic understanding of generative AI, let's get a understanding of what OpenAI is. And this is the reason why I'm covering this is because a lot of customers and a lot of people in general ask me this sort of question. So OpenAI is a research and development organization. Many of us know them because of the popular chat application ChatGPT, which, as the name suggests, uses generative pre-trained models in a chat application to answer questions and perform tasks. OpenAI has been at the forefront of research into generative AI and has developed some of the most advanced large language models in the world. One of the reasons why OpenAI has been so popular lately is because a lot of their research published is published as open source, which means that anyone can use it, build on it, and can contribute to it. So this collaborative approach has helped to accelerate the pace of AI research significantly. OpenAI provides a platform for developers to experiment and develop AI-based applications, like Travis mentioned before. It's a platform. It is available to anyone with an internet connection and can be used on various cloud platforms, including, of course, Microsoft Azure. So what is Azure OpenAI? Azure OpenAI is a partnership between OpenAI and Microsoft, where Microsoft provides the infrastructure, security, and scalability for OpenAI models on the Azure platform, allowing organizations and schools to build enterprise-level applications at scale. Furthermore, Azure OpenAI offers global availability, enabling the deployment of OpenAI models across different regions on highly available infrastructure. It also provides virtual networks, private endpoints, and integration with Azure Active Directory to provide secure access restricted to authorized users. When deploying models or services in Azure OpenAI, schools and enterprises can take advantages of APIs, SDKs, and the interactive OpenAI Studio for visualization and testing. And lastly, all the data that is passed to Azure OpenAI through your applications is local to your Azure subscription. Your data remains your data. Customers have full control over security, have full control over their network boundaries, and customers have full control over their data, on who can access their data. So in other words, Microsoft or OpenAI does not have access to the data and therefore cannot use the data for training any foundational models. All right, so responsible AI refers to the practice of developing and deploying artificial intelligence systems in a manner that aligns with ethical principles, societal values, and legal requirements. It involves ensuring fairness, transparency, accountability, and trustworthiness in AI models and their impact on individuals and communities. Microsoft has developed a comprehensive framework to guide organizations in building and deploying AI systems responsibly. This framework encompasses 6 key principles. Fairness ensures that AI models do not discriminate or exhibit biases against individuals or groups based on protected attributes such as race, gender, or religion. The framework encourages organizations to identify and mitigate biases in training data, use diverse and representative data sets, and regularly monitor and evaluate model performance for fairness. Reliability and safety focus on building AI systems that are trustworthy and perform reliably. It promotes rigorous testing, validation, and monitoring of AI models to ensure their accuracy, robustness, and resilience. It also emphasizes the need for transparent documentation and clear communication about model limitations and potential risks. Transparency is vital for responsible AI. It involves providing clear and understandable explanations of AI systems' capabilities, limitations, and decision-making processes. Microsoft's framework encourages organizations to adopt practices such as model interpretability, algorithmic explainability, and documentation of data sources to enhance transparency and foster trust. Privacy and security are vital aspects of responsible AI. Organizations must handle user data responsibly, prioritize data protection, and implement secure AI systems. Microsoft's framework advocates for privacy-preserving techniques, data anonymization, and adherence to privacy regulations to safeguard user information and maintain trust. Accountability entails establishing clear governance mechanisms, defining roles and responsibilities, and ensuring that organizations are accountable for decisions and actions of their AI systems. Microsoft's framework emphasizes the need for clear policies, ethical guidelines, and mechanisms for addressing biases, errors, and unintended consequences. Inclusiveness highlights the importance of creating AI systems that cater to diverse user needs and respect user rights. Microsoft encourages organizations to involve diverse perspectives in AI development, consider accessibility requirements, and foster user feedback to continuously improve AI systems and ensure they benefit everyone. Now, this is not only the only responsible AI framework available. There are a range of frameworks out there, and they all have very similar objectives. So you can use this framework or another framework and adopt it to your organization, or seek assistance from partners like ourselves to help develop that for you. So Travis touched on this a little bit earlier. Here are the top 4 capabilities of generative AI GPT models that enterprises most benefit from. Content generation is a powerful capability of generative AI. With the ability to learn from vast amount of data, AI models can produce diverse and compelling digital assets such as articles, blog posts, product descriptions, and more. This capability saves time and resources while enabling organizations to create engaging content at scale. Summarization is another valuable capability of generative AI. AI models can efficiently analyze and distill complex information into concise and meaningful summaries. This enables enterprises to process and understand large volumes of data quickly, aiding in decision-making, research, and information retrieval tasks. Code generation is a game changer for software development. Generative AI can automatically produce code snippets and scripts based on specific requirements. This capability accelerates the development process, increases productivity, and helps programmers focus on higher level tasks while the AI handles the repetitive coding aspects. Semantic search is a personal favorite of mine. It is revolutionizing how enterprises discover and retrieve information. By understanding the context and meaning of queries, generative AI delivers more accurate and relevant search results. This capability enhances user experiences, improves search efficiency, and enables businesses to find information they need quickly and effectively. Now, these are just some of the capabilities of generative pre-trained models, but they provide immense value to education institutions across various domains. By leveraging these capabilities, education institutions can enhance productivity, improve decision-making, automate repetitive tasks, and deliver better user experiences. All right, so here is the exciting part. I'm going to show you some demos that are pre-recorded to give you some simple and practical examples of Azure OpenAI working to make our daily work lives better. During these demonstrations, I will be interacting with QBot, which is a question bot platform we have implemented for many education institutions in Australia and overseas. So this is Space. Space is an Antares intranet framework that we've used to implement intranets and digital workspaces to over 200 customers. In this example, a new staff member, Aaron, has joined Antares and is looking to learn a little bit more about the company. The staff member goes on the intranet, opens QBot, which in this case has been designed and trained to answer questions relating to the intranet. Aaron asks, what are Antares company values? QBot comes back and answers that Antares values are care, question, get it, and creative. You'll notice that QBot says that this answer is a verified answer because this answer has been obtained from the company knowledge base, which is maintained by the internal communications manager. So Aaron is curious about the new generative AI offering he's been hearing about. He wants to learn more and asks QBot. You'll see that Aaron will get an immediate response stating that the Antares generative AI offering is a pilot program that helps customers discover, ideate, and pilot use cases. This generative AI offering focuses on quick win, proof of value, targeted business benefits upon completion of a successful pilot, and provides a roadmap and helps the organization adopt AI at scale. So now Aaron goes to the corporate documents section of the intranet. And this is where all the corporate policies are shared. So Aaron goes to the page and says to QBot, I need a quick answer. How much can I claim under the Antares Wellness Program? And as you can see on your screen there, QBot understands that Aaron wants a quick answer to this question and doesn't want a detailed explanation of what can and can't be claimed under the Antares Wellness Program. So leveraging Azure Cognitive Services and Azure OpenAI, QBot finds an answer in a single document called the Stay Well and Stay Fit program amongst all of the policy documents. Qbot answers that you can claim up to $300 under the Antares Wellness Program, first 6 months of the year, and another $300 in the second half of the year. It then goes on to provide additional information that unused reimbursement allotments do not carry forward, and equipment such as weapon, bells, arrows, etc. cannot be claimed. At the end, Qbot provides citations to the Stay Well, Stay Fit corporate policy pages 11, 12, and 14, where it obtained this information from. So I'll play the video again, and you'll see that Aaron's going to ask another question. And this time, the question is a very specific one. It's asking, can I claim for gym membership under the Stay Well, Stay Fit program? Qbot answers that gym membership is claimable under this program. However, any purchases made before Jan 2019 are not eligible. It also then obviously goes on to provide additional information that the reimbursement programs can be claimed twice a year for a maximum value of $300. Like with the previous answer, Qbot cites 5 references to page 11 where it got this information from. So Qbot Intranet Assistant is available in multiple channels. Aaron is now working on Teams and asks, can you summarize the key points from the Antares hybrid policy? I'm going to play this again. So as we discussed earlier, oops, keep doing it, I don't know why. The generative AI models are good at, sorry, let me try again. They're good at summarizing large volumes of text. So what you'll see is that you get an immediate response providing a summary of the entire policy in less than 100 words. Again, Qbot has cited specific pages in the respective policies it has obtained this information from, providing transparency and, of course, building trust in the system itself. Aaron is also able to click on these citations to view the relevant content pages Qbot got the answers from while interacting with Qbot. Here's another example. Aaron is out and about and while at work, and Aaron is contemplating having alcohol, but is not sure if that is allowed under the organization's policy. So Aaron asks Qbot, can I drink alcohol at work? Qbot says, no, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at work. Breaches of the policy will result in disciplinary reaction up to and including termination of employment, while referencing specific pages in the Code of Conduct and alcohol and drugs policy it got the answers from. Okay, so far, I've demonstrated a Q&A experience to you where a user is asking a question and the bot is answering questions with the help of Azure Cognitive Services and, of course, Azure OpenAI. In this example, we will go outside of Teams and SharePoint, and you'll see a chat happening with the document. It starts with a question, what should I know if I want to work from home? Qbot provides an answer while citing appropriate documents as demonstrated before. But in this case, Qbot is also providing 3 follow-up questions to the end user. The end user clicks on one of the follow-up questions and can continue interacting with the information in the documents in this way. So this is also a good way to enhance the end user conversational experience whilst addressing typical questions that people often ask for. All right. All right. Going to go to the next slide. Okay. So in any educational institution, supporting staff play a crucial role in managing administrative tasks efficiently. OpenAI can aid in streamlining workflows and finding information rapidly. For instance, imagine a staff member needing to access the latest school policies, processes, or guidelines. By leveraging OpenAI, staff can instantly retrieve the relevant documents, saving time and ensuring up-to-date information is always at their fingertips. So if you're a teaching staff, personalized lesson plans and resources OpenAI can help you with by assisting in creating those lesson plans and learning resources. By tapping into the vast knowledge base, teachers can find diverse materials like research articles, educational videos, and interactive tools to cater to students' unique needs and learning styles. This dynamic approach to teaching can lead to more engagement and effective classroom experiences. We can enhance the research and learning experience for students by opening up the world of knowledge and exploration that is available through the large language models. So the students can conduct research on various subjects, access supplementary study materials, and seek answers to their academic queries. OpenAI's ability to understand natural language ensures that even complex questions can be addressed, empowering students to become more independent and resourceful learners. For parents, engaging in their child's education is crucial for their academic success. OpenAI can facilitate this by providing parents with insights into the educational process. For example, parents might want to understand the curriculum better. They may want to understand their child's progress better, or they may want to access useful resources to help with the homework. OpenAI can enable parents to access this information more easily, fostering a collaborative relationship between the school and families. School administrators often need to make data-driven decisions to enhance school performance. So OpenAI can assist them by sifting through vast amounts of data and presenting relevant insights and trends. Whether it'll be analyzing student performance data or identifying areas for improvement, OpenAI can contribute to more informed decision-making, ultimately benefiting the entire school community. All right, so I'll play another video here, and just think about the time we spend in analyzing data in spreadsheets. So this data has been exported from a spreadsheet, and we're going to put it into a ChatGPT system. In this example, the results we've got are of a survey completed by new staff on their onboarding experience. So instead of manually analyzing all the data in the spreadsheet, spending hours and hours working on the right formulas, we exported the survey results into a CSV file, and then we took the output to get the system to interpret and summarize the results. We then asked the system to format the answers in bullet points so they can be easily readable. And you'll see shortly that the system will answer the above question in appropriate bullet points, formatted nicely for me to be able to read and digest that content. We're now going to ask the system to perform some sentiment analysis on the results, and then group the responses by sentiment. So as you can see, we can use this technology to quickly analyze large volume of customer feedback, identifying common themes, sentiments, and areas of improvement. HR could use it to analyze employee surveys, feedback forms, performance reviews, and so on. It can help identify common concerns, areas of improvement, or patterns in employee sentiment, aiding in HR decision-making and enhancing employee satisfaction. We can also use it for analyzing market research data. It can help extract valuable insights, identify trends, and provide a summary of key findings, enabling schools and organizations to make informed business decisions. And we can also use it to quickly analyze parent and student reviews, social media posts, and aid in understanding of various opinions, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to show you another demo. This is specifically some of the work we are doing in the education sector. So this is a writing assistant, and the writing assistant has been trained to help students improve their writing skills by providing feedback. So the bot there is to help students think critically and improve their cognitive abilities when writing a piece of content. So in this example, a student has written an essay on electric vehicles. And I've just pasted that in the chat. And what you'll see is that QBot will come back and provide immediate and constructive feedback to the students. It's pointing that the introduction should include an explanation of why electric cars are becoming popular. It provides some points for strengthening the argument for electric cars in the form of environmental benefits, cost benefits of using renewable energy, and government benefits. And lastly, it provides a point for strengthening the conclusion by emphasizing the importance of electric cars and the actions that a reader can take to make the switch. The ability to provide feedback, similar to a writing assistant bot, can be applied in various different settings to enhance productivity, quality, and communication. I'll give you some examples of that. Grading numerous essays can be time-consuming, but with writing assistant's quick feedback on grammar, style, and structure, teachers can streamline the grading process. By providing teachers with actionable insights, they can efficiently manage assessments, allowing educators to focus on other aspects of teaching and student support. By providing timely and personalized feedback, we will obviously engage students better, and we'll give them, we'll allow them to take the next actions to improve their cognitive abilities and ability to write content a lot better. So by analyzing students' essays, offering suggestions for improvements, teachers can also provide, constructive feedback that fosters students' writing skills and boosts their confidence in expressing themselves effectively. The writing assistant serves as an excellent tool for students seeking to enhance their writing abilities when crafting essays, research papers, creative pieces, etc., etc. And with the writing assistant, parents can support their children's learning by reviewing their essays together. Again, by just getting quick feedback, the parents and students can work on their skills a lot better. And just finally, think about school administrators. Just the ability to analyze a sample of essays to assess writing proficiencies across grade levels. This data-driven approach allows us to identify areas for improvement, develop targeted interventions, track progress, and so on. The last thing maybe I should point out is that this sort of tool can be very, very useful around compliance-related documentation and legal writing as well. So it can flag potential errors or inconsistencies, offer suggestions for precise and accurate languages, and ensure compliance with school-specific policies and so on. All right, I'll do a quick one. We are running a little bit short on time, but I'll explain this last pre-recorded demo I have, and then I have another one which I wanted to do a little bit of a live demo of. So in this example, we've had to hide some details to protect customer-specific information, but we are using OpenAI to allow the end users to converse in natural language in their own with their own desired language. So we've indexed a website, a university's website, and the end user is able to interact with that content in their own language. So first, the user asks a question in English. The system will come back and provide some suggestions for courses in IT and make some recommendations there that are listed on the website. You'll see shortly, then the language mode has changed, and now we're asking the question in Hindi as an example. It's going to come back and give me some specific references whilst answering the question in Hindi, but the references are pointing to the English content on the website. The reason why I wanted to show this use case was because this, combined with the writing assistant demo that I showed before, can really help students in learning a foreign language of their choice. And Travis gave an example of the customer in Taiwan doing that. So with the bot, we can provide quick feedback, provide quizzes, etc., for them to learn a new language. All right. I'm going to shift my screen now, and I'm going to do a live demo since I've done all pre-recorded ones, because I wanted to show you different applications, different systems, different channels, and so on. So bear with me 1 second. So what I've done is I've downloaded some syllabus information for English Standard, for Advanced English Standard and Advanced Stage 6, Science and Technology K6, K-6, and History K-10 syllabus available from the New South Wales Education Standards Authority website. As you can see, there's about 4 documents here, and they all range from 87 to 140 odd pages. And you can see some of the content in the pages here. I'll quickly explain to you. You can see it goes in various different details. They are quite comprehensive documents, etc. So what I'll do is I will open my browser now. Okay, so let me just refresh my screen. Okay, so now I've uploaded these 4 documents, and I can ask any question that I want. So if I go, for example, what will students learn about World War I and II? I've mistyped it, but I'll let it go. Let's see how the system behaves. So in this case, it's come back to me and says that there isn't anything very specific relating to World War I and II, and that's important because we don't want the system, as many of the systems, especially that are available, ChatGPT and the others can hallucinate, right? And so we don't want that to happen. But let me ask another question. Say, what is the difference? I can type properly. English Advanced and English Standard syllabus. Well, I really can't type today. Probably because you're all watching. But and you can see here, it's come back to me comparing the 2 documents. It pulled out the information from each of those 2 documents and summarized it very, very nicely for me. It's also referencing page 11 of the English Standard syllabus and the page 6 of the English Advanced syllabus. It's got this information from. I'm just going to quickly put in another question to show you how we can, easily converse with this sort of system. So I've asked for what are some of the key concepts and skills that will be introduced in year 7 and 10 under the history syllabus, and it's come back to me with a very nice and concise answer. Now, I'd like to do a little bit more of a demo, but we are running short on time, so I'm more than happy to unravel this with you more if you'd like me to demo this to you working with your own data. But I'm going to go back to the slides, and quickly I wanted to summarize, the Azure OpenAI's extraordinary ability to comprehend large volume of data that it can process and understand vast amounts of information, allowing organizations to gain valuable insights. It has the power to summarize and distill extensive pieces of information into concise summaries, providing users with quick understanding of the main points. And lastly, Azure OpenAI can extract meaningful and relevant pieces of information. It can identify and extract valuable insights from a wide range of sources, both structured and unstructured data. And this is all achieved through the Azure infrastructure that incorporates robust security measures to enhance data confidentiality and protection. The examples we also demonstrated, they're using QBot as a singular platform that's powered by Microsoft Azure AI, servicing different use cases that included finding answers to queries in policy documents, to syllabus information, to interpreting, service transcripts, and so on, etc. We also saw that the bot was available in various different channels, so it can work in SharePoint, Teams, but in other applications as well. And that's where the real value is. We can bring this technology to the systems you use, where the end users are mostly accessing their information. We also saw different conversational styles, different ways of interacting with the data based on the use case, etc. as well. So my point here is that if you plan to leverage generative AI strategically, recommend investing in developing a platform with a baseline framework that you can leverage to develop other use cases in future. This will allow all applications and use cases to benefit from that baseline framework, and will save significant development time, reduce risks, and significant amount of money, of course, later. Now, generative AI has made tremendous progress and continues to improve rapidly, of course. However, it is essential to remember that you do not rely on it 100%. When designing systems that utilize Azure OpenAI, such as maybe fraud detection for bank transaction, etc., it's of course very important to incorporate human review. Having a human examine those kind of critical things or critical feedback that it's providing ensures that there's better accuracy and helps address some of the limitations of AI. Data is obviously foundation of any AI system, and it is vital to recognize the quality of your data. That directly impacts the end user experience. So poor quality, inaccurate, or biased data will result in incomplete or incorrect outputs. So as an example, if you go to ChatGPT or Bing or even Bard, you ask when is the next World Cup, and it will say that the next World Cup is in June and July 2026. In reality, the next World Cup is the Women's World Cup, which is in July and August 2023, obviously happening now. So therefore, investing time and effort into ensuring your data is factual, unbiased, and of high quality will significantly enhance the performance and reliability of our applications. Lastly, I wanted to just point out that the AI sometimes can hallucinate. And it can be very creative, but but leads to inaccurate responses. So it is important that users clearly understand the answers are being provided by AI, and be best verified before accepting them, word to word. So it is important to design applications with best practices on Azure, making sure appropriate prompt engineering to reduce the chances of receiving inaccurate or misleading information. Now, I wanted to cover very briefly about what do we mean by enterprise-grade ChatGPT. So this is something that we are now encouraging most of our customers to start thinking about and not thinking about. We're actually implementing it for many organizations already. Enterprise-grade ChatGPT basically means a chatbot experience that leverages your Azure subscription that is secured by you and works for your data sets, works on your data sets and applications. So it is controlled by you and includes inbuilt content filtering capabilities provided by Microsoft, of course, but also provides you a range of AI models that you can use for different purposes, including some custom tunable models as well. The enterprise-grade security, it also includes the ability to detect and mitigate harmful use, and provides enterprise-grade security, and we can basically bring that into your business application. So that's what we mean by enterprise-grade ChatGPT. Basically, having all of the security, all of the scale, and then working within of your Azure environment, but working within your business applications based on your own settings, etc. Just finally, if you want to get started, my recommendations are the following. Start with the enterprise-grade ChatGPT. This will allow you to deliver a base. It will protect your organizational information from leaking to the ChatGPTs of the world. So you'll be in control of your data and your IP. The second thing is we'll focus on specific use cases. Solve very specific things like, instead of going broad, focus on maybe a specific type of a document or a specific type of a policy, etc. That will give you a much better answer. And then I touched on the responsible AI framework. Please keep that in mind, and also be aware that the conversational experience matters hugely in this when it comes to these kind of experiences. So I wanted to just finish off with a couple of call to actions. If you would like to leverage the Azure OpenAI in your applications, please feel free to reach out to myself from the Antares team. We are rolling out a range of AI generative pilot programs to customers. This particular program is where we basically start off with at the beginning around covering some art of the possible sessions, but we work with you to align it to your strategic objectives and vision, keeping in mind the responsible AI focus and what you need to do from a policy systems perspective. Then we deploy the enterprise grade ChatGPT, and then we also implement certain use cases that we've identified in various different workshops and settings. Couple of other things. So we are developing a number of use cases specific for K-12 that will be available also within the enterprise grade ChatGPT application in future. So includes writing assistant that I demonstrated before, but a maths assistant that will help students deconstruct a maths problem, a classroom assistant that will help students find answers to their questions in class files, staff assistant, a parent assistant, and so on. So, if you are interested in any of these use cases, please let us know, or if you have a specific use case, that is fine as well. Anybody who reaches out after the webinar today and reaches out to me via email, please cite this webinar, and we are going to work with the first 5 customers who booked a session about their AI project exclusively and work with them on a discounted commercial engagement. Lastly, and I realize I've got a minute over, I just wanted to call out, we will be at EduTech in Melbourne in August, so we look forward to seeing you all there. We will be demonstrating a plethora of work we are undertaking with education institutions over there, including all things AI. So, feel free to come in and say hello at booth 936, and we'll be giving plenty of giveaways, including our Legos. All right, we won't have time for Q&A, unfortunately, but what we will do is we will review all of the Q&A in the chat. If there's anything that needs to be discussed further, we will come back to you and have a one-on-one discussion. Here are my details. If you want to get in touch, thank you so much for coming to the session today. I hope you found it somewhat useful. That is it. Thank you so much again for listening. Bye, and have a wonderful day.